and prayer for God is that they may be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, having not submitted to the righteousness of God. Listen, denominationalism today has done the same thing that Judaism did back in the Bible days. It was a way, but it's a way that leads to destruction, because it's not the one church. It is not the one. It's not the one name, the one church, and the one way that leads to everlasting life. And then finally, Jesus says, enter in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way
that leadeth to destruction.
That leadeth to destruction.
And many there be which go in thread. Because straight is the gate,
straight
and narrow is the way,
narrow is the way,
leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Listen,
I hear people saying all the time, well, why is it that, you know, a long time ago, back in the 70s, the Church of Christ was the fastest growing church in America. But then people say, well, why is it that we're not growing now so rapidly? Why is it that your church is not as large as many other churches? I believe that one of the reasons is because of the fact that, and I've had this debate several times before, because of the fact that there are going to be few people who are going to find that straight and narrow way. Jesus says, if you lift me up, I'm going to draw all men unto me. But at the same time, he also says that few are going to find that narrow way. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to follow Jesus. And they're going to find Jesus. But there are not going to be a lot of people that's going to go that narrow way. You see, what I'm saying to you is that there are a lot of people in the world, in the world of religion, who are striving to follow the pattern. Striving to follow. They're doing a lot of good stuff. And listen, one of the things that I'm very careful about, and we have to be very careful about, and that is be very careful about how we condemn people in other churches. Be careful. Careful. See, what I try to condemn is false teaching. I try to condemn false teaching. I don't try to condemn people. Okay? We have to be careful when we condemn people. Because if the truth really be known, there's a lot of people that are not in the church of Christ, but are better people than we are. They're better people than we are. You know why they're better people? They're more faithful than we are. They work harder than we do. They give way more than we do. We're going to get a lot of amen on that. It's the truth. Because they don't believe in giving nothing less than 10%. Nothing less than 10. And that's a sermon in itself. But they're faithful about that. And they won't even pay some of their bills until they put their 10% in. Better people. Hello, somebody. And here we are, condemning people. People. Talking about the people. Let me tell you something. A lot of those people, they do benevolent work. A lot of those people will get out on a Saturday and sell clothes at a rummage sale. They'll get out and sell dinners. Hello, somebody. What I'm trying to get you to see is that they're dedicated just been misled. And it's our responsibility to show them the difference between truth and error. And here we go, talk about people. We walk around talking about people. Because we are in the Church of Christ, we'll go around and talk about people. Because they're not in it. But we in it, and we ain't working in it. We in it, but we ain't giving no money in it. We in it, but we ain't, when we show up, it's like we ain't in a hill. Ain't singing. Don't say amen to nothing. Somebody? But we'll go back and we'll talk about other people. You got to be careful when you talk about that. Be careful. Because a lot of times those people are doing some things that we're not doing. You remember when Hurricane Katrina came to town? And we read the reports and listened to the reports on television, how all of these churches were coming together. And they were putting people up in their buildings who didn't have anywhere to go. Now listen, I'm going to tell you something. I don't agree with the doctrine. But we can take a lesson. We can take a lesson. See, one of the things, and I'm a little atypical as a preacher, is that I think that sometimes we have to be reprogrammed and rewired because of some of the things that we've been taught all throughout the years. Amen. There are some things that we can learn from the people you're talking about. There's some things that we can learn from them folks. Amen. And when I look at how those people took people in when they were down and when they were out, you know, I said to myself, some of us, I ain't talking about us, let's say here, but some of us as people in the Church of Christ, some of us, no, we ain't put them folks in money. Now, dude. Say it loud, no, we're not going to put them down, dude. And here you got other folk that are just willing to open up and provide shelter. I'm talking about people, good people.